about it? Because I'm sure somebody in this audience right now is going, well, I'm not a real big Star Trek fan, but my gosh, my dad is. Or my mom, or my uncle, or my school teacher, or my neighbors. So, sorry?
Or your uncle.
Or your drunkle. And his dog. So check it out, okay? StarTrekContinues.com. Let's see, is there anything else that I'm missing, Aubrey? Like, housekeeping kind of stuff that I should tell them. I can't think of anything. Yeah, we won't talk about that. Okay, who's got a question? Yes, sir. Start us off with a good one.
Okay. I know you voiced Junpei or in Persona 3. What was it like voicing him and all the subsequent spin-off games you do?
Junpei was a lot of fun. I didn't know anything about Persona when I went in to do it, and I've really come to love him. Especially, oh my gosh, in the latest one, what is it, Dance, not Revolution, yes. Yeah, that's a game, isn't it? That's right. I love him. He's a really, and I've done a lot of video games, and some of them are completely unknown. Like some of them nobody's ever heard of. And then some of them end up, being ones that people enjoy, and you never really know how they're going to turn out, or how, whether anybody's going to enjoy them or not. And Persona is one of those wonderful surprises that you didn't really know how it was going to turn out, and people really enjoyed it. So thanks for asking about that. Young lady, yes.
What was your most favorite character voice act that you've done so far?
I'll give you one hint. You could fit him in your bag. Guys, I used to be afraid to answer that question. Because depending on who's asking, they may have like a character they would love for you to say, right? Like if this guy in his awesome Crow cosplay comes up to me and goes, hey man, who's your favorite character you ever played? I look him over and I'm thinking, he would probably love it if I said Uncle Crow, right? Or if somebody's dressed as Yuki from Vampire Night, they might like it if I said Zero. Or if somebody was dressed like these two over here, and I said, oh, Tamaki is definitely my most beautiful character. You lovely commoner. So I would kind of, I would want to tailor it to the person who's asking. But the day came when that changed, and that day was when I recorded the last line of Brotherhood.
Oh.
When I went into the studio that day and realized that we were at the end, and there probably would be no more,
Aww.
I got pretty emotional because I loved it so much. I loved that show so much. When the first one was over, I was so sad, And I was so elated when I heard there was going to be another one.
Woo.
And had so much fun with Brotherhood. And then when I realized Brotherhood was almost over, we came to that last page. That last page where Ed does the last monologue and he gets on the train and he talks about how there's no such thing as equivalent exchange and all of that. Oh. It was so, oh my gosh, I loved it so much. I even put my phone on the window seal in the control room so that I could record myself doing that last line, just kind of document to kind of, the last line that I would record as Ed. And after that point, I had to just basically say, Ed was probably the favorite thing I've ever done. I love him a lot. But Tamaki is a very close second place. Long live the poor. See these people in the back? They're like, he's never going to call on me. Why am I even raising my hand? But it's happening.
Where'd he go?
Good question. I'd have to say...
Sorry. I was going to say, how did you get started in voice acting?
Excellent. Good question. I wonder if we were to do something really like unexpected and loud and scary, if the audio guy over here would even notice. I was hoping you were asleep. I was hoping so bad. He's a tough, this guy makes it happen. Give it up for him. I have to tell you guys something. I consider myself so extraordinarily blessed. I never even thought of being a voice actor. It didn't even occur to me. Now, when I was a kid, I loved, animated shows, and I even loved Speed Racer.
Woo! Woo!
And Kimba the White Lion. And like anime, I didn't know it was anime, right? But I loved it.
Agreed.
But it never even occurred to me to try doing that. And about 20 years ago now, I was living in Houston, Texas, and a friend of mine said, "Hey, you have a lot of acting experience, don't you?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "You should go and audition for this little studio in town called ADV Films. They buy these Japanese animated shows and they dub them into English, and they're looking for actors." And all I heard was, "They're looking for actors." Because I loved acting. It never occurred to me to make a living at it. It never occurred to me to make a buttload of money, or to become famous, or to anything, sign autographs, none of that stuff. I just loved acting. I would audition for school plays. I would audition for community theater. Through college, I did a lot of stage plays and musicals. Did a lot of musicals. I just loved it. Church productions, anything I could do to get to perform. I loved it. Had nothing at all to do with money or success or fame. I just loved acting. So when he said, "Hey, they're looking for actors," I was like, "Okay, I'm there." And I went and auditioned, and I got cast as Vega in Street Fighter 2. And I did this thing, and I thought, well, that was fun. And now I go back to my normal life. I was writing music for ad agencies and producing records for people and doing a lot of professional music work. And I didn't expect that anything would ever come of that little Street Fighter thing I did. And then a few weeks went by, and ADV called me and said, "Hey, we got another show. You want to come and be in it?"
Which one was
I'm
it?
like, "Sure." And I went and did another show, and then another, and another, and another, and another. And the next thing you know, anime conventions started popping up.
Woo!
And I went to Star Trek conventions when I was a little boy, but I didn't know they had anime conventions. And so I started to go to those and meet people, and I had no idea. When we finished recording a show, you guys, I didn't even know what they did with it. Like, I assume they sold it somewhere. They had to, right, in order to make their money back and pay their bills. But I didn't know what they did with it, where it was sold, how much it cost, knew nothing. I just went in and did my little character thing and left. So anime started growing, and I started attending anime conventions, and then I started meeting people from other studios, like Funimation, or studios in LA or New York, and started working with those studios. And anime kept growing. And conventions kept sprouting up everywhere. And next thing you know, anime's on television. Adult Swim has got all kinds of great shows, and Toonami, and even Sci-Fi Channel, and it's just popping up everywhere. And I was just fortunate enough to be in on it when it started. I don't have any more talent than anybody else, but I'm really grateful that I was just in a place at a time when a door opened, and I stepped in having no idea where it would go or what would ever come of it, and here we are today. So that's how I got started. And for those of you that are interested in voice acting, let me just tell you this. If it's something you really have a passion for, go for it. Whatever it is. But be realistic. Don't kid yourself about how difficult it would be or how many thousands of people want to do it. Whether it's writing or singing or dancing or acting or voice acting. Sorry? Okay, sure. No matter what it is. If it's anything of a creative nature, anything creative, there are thousands of people who want to do it, right? And what's going to make you different? If you get discouraged easily, you shouldn't do it. Because the people that make it are the people that just don't give up. You know what I mean? They just keep pushing. I always laugh when some singer comes on the scene and so many people think that this singer on the radio is like an overnight success. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like they're a superstar overnight. And what you don't know is they've been playing in bars and lounges and gigging for the last 15 years, knocking on that door, trying to get an opportunity. They've been doing it for a long time. There is no like overnight superstar, you know what I mean? It's the people that don't give up easily. Whatever it is that you want to do, if you want to do it at a professional level, be aware that there are a lot of people who want to do it too. And it's not even necessarily the most talented people that get it. It's the people that don't give up. I mean, we've all heard people on the radio and go, how in the world did they get a recording contract? Right? Am I wrong? No. We've all watched television shows, and there's like an actor in the show, and you're like, oh my God, this guy's not that good. How did he get on this show? Well, it's not necessarily the most talented people. It's the people that work really hard and don't give up easily. So it's very different now getting into this industry than it was when I started. And I was very blessed and very grateful for the opportunity to get in when I did. But if you're interested, get as much experience acting as you can. That's the real key. The operative word in voice acting is acting. It's not voice. It's playing a character in front of a microphone, basically. So develop your skills as an actor. And then the second thing is you have to be where this kind of work is done, right? I mean, if I've used this example many times, but if I wanted to be a country western singer, I would go to Nashville, the country music capital of the world, right? I would go where the work is prevalent. Maybe Austin, maybe a couple of places in Texas or whatever, but there are only a handful of places where that kind of work is most available. And voice acting is no different. So yes, that was the long answer to your question about how I got started. Yes, Deku, you deserve questions.
Sure. Order pizza in your voices?
What?
Have I ever ordered a pizza in my voices?
Oh.
Or will I?
Oh my goodness, please say.
I've never done this in my life, you guys.
Wait.
Hold on a minute.
Vic.
Hold on.
Vic, do Tamaki. Tamaki, please. Vic, do Tamaki. No, Tamaki.
Papa
Just call everybody commenters.
Right.
Call everybody commenters.
Oh boy. I don't know. Who should it be?
Tamaki! Tamaki! Tamaki Sumo! Woo! Yes!
Okay, let's do Tamaki. Hold on. Y'all have to be quiet. I mean, like, I'm ordering from my bedroom, and you can't all be in here. They need to think I'm this poor, sad kid who's alone in his room and has nothing to eat, so he's ordering pizza.
No, you mean the rich kid.
Oh, Tamaki's not poor, but they don't know that. Not yet, anyway. All right, ready? Turn this up. Audio, turn this up.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you for calling Papa John's Bar. This is Can I help you?
Hello, good day to you. I would like to order one of your most beautiful beautiful pizzas.
Okay, so we currently have a 1 large, 1 topping pizza for $6.99 for a carry-out deal.
May I ask you a question, Princess?
Okay.
How large is a large pizza? Oh, the alarm's going off. Everyone evacuate the building. Sorry about that. How large is your large pizza, my dear?
I'm not sure how to explain it, but we do have the extra large. The large is pretty big.
And how much does it cost? How much is the price for your large pizza? Comedy?
It would depend on what toppings and how many toppings you would normally get on there. For the carry-out deal, that's a 1
Do you
topping.
have fancy tuna? Can you put fancy tuna on the pizza?
We don't have tuna.
Oh, darn it. Well, perhaps I'll try another pizza place then. Or perhaps I'll go and build a hamster home. Thank you for your help. You've been most kind. Long live the pizza. Okay, now don't tell anybody that, oh my gosh, that jerk Mignogna is prank calling pizza places and is panicking.
I can't stop laughing. Oh my goodness.
I should call back to somebody else.
Broly.
Yeah, what kind of pizzas do you have?
Hey, ask for fancy tuna again. Ask somebody else. Please,
Can you put shrimp on a pizza? Okay, sorry, that got crazy. All right, yes. I love your shirt.
My friend Lisa, she really likes Orange High School Hosa. Call her.
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
Is she on the phone? Should we call her and say hello?
Yes!
What's her name? Sorry? Her name is Louisa.
Woo!
Louisa? I think she hung up on me. It was worth a try, right? Question? Did you? Yes.
How does it feel playing another Broly character, but also voicing next to Sean himself?
Okay, can we talk about the Broly movie?
Oh boy.
Okay, you guys, please go see it. It's really a great film. It's a good movie, it's a lot of fun. And you know what I'm really excited about? If there's anything that I could have changed, and most people agree to this, if there's anything that could have been changed about the original Broly, it would have been to give him a little more backstory. You know what I mean? Like give him a little more substance, develop the character a little bit more. You know, with the original Broly, I mean, there was a baby crying in the crib next to him, and that's why he's a homicidal maniac. You know what I mean?
That doesn't
Not a
make
good
sense.
reason. But in this movie, he is really a great character. I was absolutely blown away by how great the story was. And the animation, oh my gosh, you guys, it's breathtaking. It's probably the best animation of any Dragon Ball. And I will tell you that Funimation has been buzzing over the last 3 weeks. Everybody's saying this is the best Dragon Ball movie that's ever come out. So please check it out. Make sure to get your tickets. I went on a TV show this morning here in Charlotte, the Fox affiliate, 46, and talked with them briefly about Ichiban and about the new movie coming out. So check it out, okay? It's coming out, I think, Wednesday, 16th of January. Yes. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes. Now you're talking my language. Star Trek question.
You had, from what I remember,
Yeah.
What was the story behind that? And quick, Jim across the Trump person follow-up. How did you do the SB?
Very cool. Well, real quick, let me tell you. He said we had two McCoys, Dr. McCoys. One of them was supposed to be Dr. McCoy the whole time. And you guys will know who this is, Chuck Huber.
Huh?
Chuck Huber is a voice actor friend of mine. He played Tucker in Full Metal. And I play Stein in Soul Eater. I had asked him to play Dr. McCoy. And he was down to do it. And then right before our first episode, he had a bad conflict. Had something come up, like personal family thing, and he couldn't do it. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I haven't even gotten an episode off the ground, and I'm losing one of my main people. So I got another guy to play McCoy, and he played McCoy for the first 2 episodes. And then Chuck Huber came back to me and he said, okay, crisis averted, and I really want to play this role. And so I had him come back in, and he played McCoy for 3 through 11. The eyes, the shiny eyes, in the original Star Trek, do you know how they did that? They were literally aluminum foil.
Wow.
There was an episode in the original Star Trek where some guys had their eyes were kind of silver and sparkling. Well, back then they didn't have optical effects like we do today. They couldn't just like click on it in a computer and make your eyes shiny, silver. They cut out pieces of aluminum foil and put them between contacts and put them into people's eyes. In fact, one of the characters in the episode walks around like this.
Oh my.
And you think that it's because he's being all godlike and condescending. And the reality was he couldn't see. I learned this from the book. He was like, I couldn't see a thing. He was like, I was trying to see what I was doing. But it worked for the character. Oh my gosh, can I tell you a Star Trek story? Yeah. Don't get mad. I know we're supposed to talk about other things, but okay, this is really cool. Because this is something everybody will get.
Okay.
Everybody knows what I mean. Everybody on the planet knows what I mean when I say beam me up, right? Well, beam down.
Yeah.
You beam down to the planet. That is from Star Trek. The transporter, right? Zzz, and they would beam down to the planet. It's part of our culture. Like, it's pop culture. Everybody around the world knows about beaming up and beaming down. As I was reading this book, I was reading a chapter where they were developing the show. And do you know how they came up with the transporter?
Yes.
It's the coolest piece of technology, right? But they didn't come up with it because it was a really cool technological idea. They were looking for ways to cut the budget because it cost too much to make this show. Think about this for a minute, you guys. Back in the 60s, most TV shows were 2 things. Cop shows or westerns. Now, what do you need to make a western?
A desert.
Not much, right? Crowd, houses, cowboy costumes. Well, all of that stuff already exists. And once you build it, you have it. Think about Star Trek, y'all. Every week it's a new planet. Every week it's a new alien. Every week there are new ships to build. Do you see the costs going up and up and up and up for a weekly television show? So as they're formulating how in the world to make this show every week on a budget they were given by the studio, they're like, okay, we have a big problem.
Oh boy.
We can't afford to make the ship land on a planet every week. It's completely impractical to make the giant Enterprise ship land on a planet every week. The special effects budget alone would blow the whole series. You ever heard the phrase, necessity is the mother of invention?
No.
You come up with something because you have to. And somebody somewhere came up with the idea of the transporter so that they could transport to the planet every week instead of the ship landing. It was purely designed to save the money. Isn't that amazing? Like, somebody came up with that. I mean, This. Everybody on the planet knows that, don't you? Right? Live long and prosper, right? Do you know where that came from? Leonard Nimoy, who played Mr. Spock, they were doing an episode where they go back to his planet, Vulcan. And he steps up to this woman who's like this high priestess, a very important person. And Spock says, they should do something. Well, they should shake hands. That's, you know what I mean? That's kind of human thing and kind of casual. It should be more formal. And Leonard Nimoy said, how about this? And they're like, do it. Perfect. You know what that is? When Leonard Nimoy was Jewish, and he would go to synagogue when he was a little boy. And there was a point in the service where the priest would stand over the congregation, and the whole congregation was supposed to bow their heads and close their eyes as the priest spoke a blessing over the congregation. And you were not supposed to look, right? And as a little boy, you know, you'll be in big trouble if you look, young man, right? Well, one day, little Lenny Nimoy looked up, and this is what he saw. The priest was standing over the congregation with his hands like that. And that became, nobody even knows that it had anything to do with, right, with Jewish tradition or anything like that. Everybody thinks it's the Vulcan salute. Is that cool? I just think that kind of stuff is really cool. Somebody somewhere made this stuff up that is now part of our entire world culture. I love that. And I've wasted so much time talking about Star Trek. I'm so sorry. 5 minutes? Thank you. Yes, my dear.
How did you feel about being Captain America and
Is that your question? I love you guys. I love fan things. My whole Star Trek thing was a fan production. It was just to celebrate something I loved, right? It wasn't about making money or anything like that. Well, some friends of mine made a whole series of little short films based on the Fallout video game. And I played the mysterious stranger, and I played this merchant in that series. And then I was invited, oh my gosh, I just thought of something I should tell them. Then I was invited to be a part of a live-action Futurama. Yes! And I played Zap Brannigan. I know you're jealous. And by the way, remind me, we'll put those pictures. I even have a picture. Yes. And it's scary.
Oh boy.
I have a picture as Zap Brannigan that I will put on my table. You gonna get one? Okay. At the autograph session at 3:30. So I played Zap Brannigan, and then most recently, a guy came to our Star Trek production.
Oh boy.
And he donated money to be able to be a walk-on, right? So we put him in a uniform, and he walked on, and we became friends. And the next thing you know, this guy took me aside. He said, "Vic, what you've done here with Star Trek has inspired me. I want to do something. I love Deadpool, and I want to make a Deadpool fan film where I play Deadpool." And I'm like, "Michael, go for it. Do it." He made Deadpool the musical.
Oh my goodness.
And he wanted me to be in it, and when they scheduled the shoot, we were shooting a Star Trek episode, and I wasn't able to be in it.
Aww.
And I was so bummed out. And he said to me, "If we make another one, I will not do it without you." And they made another one. They amped it up and called it Deadpool the Musical 2. And it features all of the Avengers.
Woo.
And I got to play Captain America. Who's my favorite? He called me and said, "Which Avenger do you want to play?" And I said, "Oh, my favorite's Captain America." So I got to play Captain America in that. Those are all online too, by the way. Futurama, I think, is called, the live action thing is called Fan-O-Rama, I think is what it's called. And Deadpool the Musical 2. And Fallout Nuka Break is the Fallout series. And Star Trek Continues. There are 4 live action things for you guys to check out. All right? You guys, I have an autograph session at 3:30. I hope you'll come and say hello. I love you dearly. God bless you guys in 2019. And have a great afternoon. I hope to see you soon.